following is a production of Markup Sports.
Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from The Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grosso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grosso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out. Hey. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Hey. Bring them out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mets preview show. It's just Brett today. Bob is out with the family at American Dream. Most likely you'll be getting a post-game show from Bob at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But for now, you know what? You just get me. Quick one, I got a couple days off from work, so I'm out here on a Friday. Usually I'd be working. But no, we got a late night. Mets 10:15, Mets Giants. Let me just I got the lineup up there right now. Oh, man. I think it's on Pix 11 tonight, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm popping in my preview on the TV, and it's not showing that. Showing, let me see what I'm supposed to be getting. I got Totally Funny Kids coming up, and then the Pix News, and then Seinfeld, it says. So I'm hoping a Mets game pops on because I'm hearing it's on Pix 11. It's definitely not on SNY. They're showing some other stuff. But I know somewhere on this TV I will find the Mets game. But for now, you don't need the TV. You get Brett. You get no Bob tonight. American Dream. Man, you'll catch him later. Having fun with the family. Enjoying some time. He's setting up a gig over there. Supposedly you might have a gig over at American Dream. Do a little podcast live. Maybe get some special guests. But tonight, Mets Giants. Let's get this game going tonight. So what do we got? Who do we got tonight? All right. On the hill tonight, Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes, New York Mets, 59-44, playing the San Francisco Giants. He's pitching against Logan Webb, 9-7, 3.08 ERA. It does say here it's on Pix. So you know what? My TV is probably just wrong. I imagine it's just a little bit of a hiccup over there. But the Mets were off yesterday. Coming off of a 3-game sweep of the Angels, took them down 6-3. Mets 4 straight wins. Pretty nice after coming off of 3 straight losses, which, we were all wondering if that All-Star break, what team are we getting out of here? But this is big. West Coast trip. Final West Coast swing of the year. I hate these late games. We all hate these late games. I mean, at least it's on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now, so we can watch it. And hopefully most of us don't have work, although, Bob's corrections, I'm a nurse. We don't really get those weird hours where we typically do. But you know what? 10 o'clock game. I know I'm staying up for the game tonight. 3 versus the Giants, 3 versus the Padres. Big one. But don't forget, everybody, this weekend, guess who's, do you know Billy Wagner, inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? I will say he's not going in as a Met, as you know. But 4 years with the Mets from 06 to 09. 101 saves, 2.37 ERA. Let me tell you, Billy Wagner, that was a guy. Small guy, lefty, flamethrower. Used to love Billy Wagner. Great addition. Love Billy Wagner. Congratulations to Billy and to everybody who's going to be enjoying the ceremonies this year up at the Hall of Fame. I know there's a couple Mets that we just had retired. We have Mr. David Wright. We love to be, wish we had a couple more years out of him. That Hall of Fame trajectory, injury-plagued, losing out on that one, so that one's a tough one. You look back and you go, man, could Keith Hernandez one day get the nod? I mean, Keith Hernandez, man, you look back, and especially with what everybody's done, the World Series, the MVP, the batting champ, you go, I mean, there's a lot going on. World Series in 2 different places, the defense, the Gold Gloves coming out the wazoo. And now you throw in the broadcast career. So, I don't know. I guess that's just a small space in my heart. So, I mean, we're getting into some other stuff here. But you know what? Really, get into the Hall of Fame, a little bit of that stuff. But let's get into this Mets lineup for tonight because we got a couple future Hall of Famers in that lineup. And hopefully they go in with that Mets uniform on, wearing that, beautiful orange and blue NY hat. And let's lead it off. You know what? He ain't a Hall of Famer, but we got Brandon Nimmo, left field, batting first. And then we got the shortstop, future captain. Gave David Wright his own day, but Lindor will get his own day one day too. In the 2-hole, Francisco Lindor looking to heat up, looking to build off that performance the other night. He was 0 for 30 or 31 going in, and all of a sudden, couple hits, RBIs. Do we get Lindor back? Then you got Soto, Juan Soto, absolutely. This is all the Soto we've been waiting for in the 3-hole, playing right field, just Soto being Soto. Everybody's acting like he wasn't playing well. And even ourselves, like, it wasn't electric enough. But you know what? Soto now, it's like, look what you're getting. Let me tell you, there's only like 2 guys, and I wish I had the exact stat for me. I did not even bring it up. In their first 100 games with a team, to go for, I want to say it was, 15 home runs and, 60 RBIs or 55 RBIs and, to hit whatever he was hitting. And he was only 2 other guys that were in front. I wish I had the stats. I'm just throwing out random stuff, but I really wish I had the stats. But, the guys in front of him were pretty incredible. You're talking like Ruth and, Jimmy Fox, I believe. And then the number 3 was Juan Soto. So, we talked about how it's a slow start for him. It turns out it's a monumental, historic start with the All-Star snub. But, he's turned it on late. Hopefully he keeps it up. Juan Soto, man, long time. And let me tell you, I don't care. Let's get there. But so he's batting in the 3-hole. And then you got the big boy, Pete Alonso. First base, as always. Took a day off the other day. You don't get many of those. Expect to see Pete in there every day. Got a little, injury scare. But hopefully we can get Pete back. Pete, that rocket home run the other day. Big 3-run shot into the second deck. Monstrous blast. But we need Pete to get back. Not to where he was. Nobody's expecting Pete to hit, 331 and do all just productive. Doubles, home runs, 1 for 4. Big day. That Pete, man. Right back onto it. Jeff McNeil in the DH. And you see that. This is interesting because Jeff McNeil is the DH, and we'll get to why I think we're going with something like that. Obviously, it's because Taylor's in center field, but, keeping some other people out of the lineup. But Jeff McNeil, DHing, love to have his bat in the lineup. You love to have that old Jeff McNeil coming around. Hopefully this sticks around. Like him in center field, but today we have him at DH. Then you have Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty's been one of the hotter Mets the last couple weeks, playing second base. Playing a pretty quality second base at that, which, shores up makes the third base a little bit easier for the Mets to fill. Then you got the guy who's back, the new kid. We had Kid back in the day, back in my day, Gary Carter. We got like the new kid, Francisco Alvarez, had his little stint in the minors, took it, I don't know if he took it well at first, honestly, but he took it well with the bat, hitting home runs, comes back, 2 games back. In his 2 games back before his day off, Alvarez, game-tying double, game-tying 2-run home run, and then he just gets a day off. So far, I mean, it's just good to see. Confidence is there. Needed to see that. You didn't want to see him come back from the minors slumping. It's the last thing in the world that you need. It just really sucks. Like, if you... Do you want to see you want to see Alvarez come right back up, and it's just so nice to see. And to see him come back like that, back in the lineup, just that little swag, and just hopefully he keeps it up. He gets it, he learned his lesson. Get that defense back in order. He threw out a guy the other day, big one, and so we get a little bit of that. And if you keep the defense up and just a little bit of offense, we don't need you to hit a home run every day. We got those guys. We have those guys. We'll take it. But we have those guys. And then you got who I think is like the future third baseman for this team. Like, I see Ronnie Mauricio, and I understand, maybe he's supposed to be a shortstop. Maybe he'd probably be better off at second base. From what I see is this kid can handle himself at third. Well, we're waiting for him to come around with the bat. And the rest of this lineup should be able to afford the Mets to have guys like this have kind of slow starts and see where they come from. When he makes contact, that ball rockets out like a Soto shot. I want to say like Alonso, that's different. He like muscles him out. But like when you hit it off the bat, you're like, oh man, like that kid, that kid's got a pure swing. And so Mauricio, I don't want to see him go anywhere. I know we can get into a little bit of trade stuff in a few minutes. We got a solid hour before this game comes. You're not going to get me for an hour. You're going to get me for another 15. I don't even know if I got 20 in me. But Mauricio, man, I'm telling you, I like him at third. We'll see if the offense comes around. He may be an offensive I thought, he's a year off of his injury. He had the ACL. This is his first year back. Looks like he's good running. Major leagues, it's a little bit of an adjustment. He had a lot of trouble with the breaking ball. He's working with Soto in the cage. I really, really have, high hopes for Mauricio, for sure. Trying to get Bob's texting me. You on? Because I'm not hooked up to the Locked Up Sports Facebook. So I'm here on YouTube. I'm over here on Twitter. Got a couple people getting ready for this West Coast game over here. Any comments from anybody? Shoot me a comment. Shoot me like we got something going on here. Sorry, no Bob tonight. I know everybody's like, who is it? It's usually like Bob's on all the time, and once in a while, you get me popping in for some. No Bob tonight. Some of you call that the American dream, not having Bob on tonight. But no. You'll get Bob. You always get plenty of Bob. I tried to get Bob on before. I actually just told him, yeah, I'm on now. He probably would have actually hopped on. He just hopped on. He just texted me a minute ago. But sorry, you're going to miss out, Bob. You're going to have to listen in like everybody else. But then we get into, all right, so we got through Mauricio and then Tyrone Taylor, center field. And I think that's the thing. I don't know. I guess they're trying to squeeze in, see if they can get him going a little bit, get him some playing time while they can, I think, before the trade deadline, because I don't know what's going to go on with Taylor outside of a defensive replacement coming up in the next few days or weeks, depending on if a center fielder comes or if McNeil and him are just going to, be the back and forth. I just don't know. And I'm all for McNeil having those reps out there. We learned it's not Nimmo in center field. It's definitely going to be, McNeil. And Taylor's great with the glove. We love having him out there with the glove. But I think he's hitting below the Mendoza line. And for all you kids out there, that's someone, hitting on the interstate. Someone hitting probably in the buck 90s, but that I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe he's a 2-0 something now, but that's not enough. I'm sorry. We're trying to go up against the Dodgers and Ohtani and the Yankees and Judge, even though, again, to the Yankees, it's not really the Yankees, but it's Tyrone Taylor, man. Great late in the game, but we need something more. And I don't know. People are talking about Lewis Robert Jr. from the White Sox. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's going to cost a lot. And honestly, his numbers are somewhat mediocre, if you ask me, and his defense is good. But do you go trade a couple of guys for a 240 hitter? I just don't. I don't see it. Some of these guys, their value is just incredible, just based on no other reason except for that they're the only guys available, or they're the only guys with teams that stink, or all of a sudden a 260 hitter is considered a great addition. And yeah, I understand upgrades, but it stinks. But Taylor, man, it's just tough. He's having a tough go. They're trying to get a few more innings for him, some more bats, really. Forget about the innings. And then you got Clay Holmes. I mean, Clay Holmes, what are we going to get? I think we know what we get, but how many innings are we going to get it for? We need innings. I know we got bullpen help coming. Let me show you that real quick. We got a little bullpen help coming. I like it. Look, that's nice. Here we go. Mets make a little trade today. I like it. Gregory Soto from the Orioles. We trade away two, low-level pitching prospects who good upside on those guys. But Gregory Soto, left-handed pitcher. This guy, two-time All-Star. He supposedly has a little trouble sometimes, and when he loses the zone, he really loses the zone. But lights out stuff. I'm looking at his last few starts. He had one where he let up 3 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks. Right. Other than that, no earned runs in anything up the line. Back to I see all of a sudden. Oh, looking all the way back. So he gave up one thing, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and nothing going back to July 1st. No earned runs, no home runs at all on the board, not too many walks, couple strikeouts, ERA's at 3.96. If you saw him in the All-Star game, I saw some footage of him just making people look silly in the All-Star game. This is a classic Stearns pickup for minimal. This is the last year on his contract, so it didn't cost the Mets much. This guy, listen, the Mets, that pitching lab, they can get a little something going. I like it. This is gonna be a setup guy. You throw him in there with Stanek. He's supposedly a nice setup guy in the lefties. And honestly, they said most of the issues he's had, he's lights out with the lefties. It's when he runs into the righties, which with the new MLB rules, all of a sudden, sometimes you're going to run into that, where you come in to face a lefty and they're going to pull 2 righties on you. You got to face your batters now. So now you got to go face a couple batters. And it's a little bit differently, but supposedly he's not going to be available tonight. You got Mets and Giants tonight, 10:15, picks 11. Don't listen to whatever my TV is telling me that there's going to be America's Funniest Home Videos and then some Seinfeld. But I really hope something comes on the other end that's, Mets baseball, because I've been waiting all day for this. And, we got, but here we go. The Mets make their first trade. I think I think there's some more coming. I don't know what for. I don't think it's going to be a Suarez for third base. I guess this is our bridge reliever that the kid supposedly can. This is the guy who can handle that spot. This is like kind of taking over like Minter's spot. And that was a big loss. And the Mets need this now because we need someone like Clay Holmes, like I was just talking about before. We need him to throw 6, go into the 7th. Someone go into the 7th. I don't care if you just throw 1 pitch. Walk out there. Take a look at what it looks like in the 7th inning. And I know we're going to hold on to extra pitches, and this way we have more innings out of him later in the year. And then we're just putting in guys who's back on the team. Castillo? Let me guess who got called back up. Castillo in the bullpen, and we'll see what we get. And I don't know. Some of these guys have been serviceable, but you're not always going to get it, get it like that. This is we're leading up to the deadline. We're after the All-Star break. No more putting in guys who are, on a bus, on a minor league team. Enough of that. Let's get some more arms in this bullpen. Let's get something going. Brooks Raley, another lefty. We got something, we got a little something going. Let's get Stanek straight. Let's get Reed Garrett, squared away. Brazoban, get it together. Because this, walking people stuff and causing issues like you're Edwin Diaz. You're not Edwin Diaz. And you know what? I think this Mets team can make a run. But I like the addition. Let's see who else we got coming. When you go back and we go back into this lineup for today, to be honest with you, you go back into the lineup and you look who we're missing. We're missing the guy who's been terrible on offense. And honestly, he's kind of a liability in the field. And we don't even know where to put him. And if his offense shows up, you could put him in a couple spots. His name's Ronnie Mauricio. And the Mets are actually trying to wiggle ways to have him out of the lineup at this point. And I really hope that these little spurts we've seen of him, a couple good days, a couple big hits, turns into something. Because this guy's supposed to be a big producer for this team. This guy's supposed to be one of the reasons, just like he was last year, that we can go and compete for some of the best. And that can go deep into these playoffs versus the hard teams. We need offense. We all know about pitching. Our pitching's only going to get us, starting pitching's only going to get you into the 6th. Your bullpen's only going to do so much. You got to put up 5 runs in the postseason. Can't be putting up 2s. Put up a 2, you lose 3-2. Do that every game. You're going to lose 1, you're going to win 1. No, you have to dominate 1 or 2 games. You got Soto, you got Lindor, you got Alonso. You got a batting champion, McNeil. You got this kid, Alvarez, who's supposed to hit home runs. We need something. We got Ronnie Mauricio, the kid who streaked all last year. So we need something. Now, we got a West Coast trip. The Giants aren't playing great. We're heading out there. We need to take care of the Giants. Need to take care of the Padres. Need to come back. Half a game up on the Phillies. Phillies keep losing. I think this is our time. We watched it last year, right? But last year we had it. We were back. We were back games, back and back and back, and we were scrapping away, scratching our way back into. No, not now. We got a half game lead, And it's up to us. It's up to the Mets to ever let another team be in first place. The Mets can more or less, the Phillies might have a day when the Mets have a day off and the Phillies can get their head. No, it's up to the Mets. The Mets can go and win their way into this. Who cares if everybody else loses? It might be a two-team race. That's what we were looking for. Looks like the Braves are out of it. Just us and the Phillies. Go win this division. Winning divisions, you know where it comes from? Winning games on the West Coast. So, I'm going to let you guys go. I think 20 minutes is enough. You guys are getting me heated. I'm really excited. We got a big Mets West Coast trip. Got a big trade deadline coming up. Me and Bob are going to have a lot of discussions about, I think we're going to start seeing some more stuff popping off. Don't be surprised if you see something else, something from center field. Don't be surprised some of these young guys might even go. One of them might go. But, all right, guys, enjoy the game. Don't forget, lockedupsports.net. Check us out on our Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter. We got it everywhere. Lockedupsports.net. Bob will probably be catching you for a post game at like 2 a.m. I'll be asleep. No way. Sorry. Maybe we'll catch you for something else. But enjoy the game, guys. Mets Giants 10:15. Picks 11. Go check our boy out, Keith Rad. Mets Odyssey 880. Enjoy the game, everybody. Have a great day. Let's go Mets.